Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well and good today. So, before we are going to discuss our new topic for this week, let's have first a recap. So, last week we discussed about the evolution of media. So, this time we are going to discuss about the information literacy. So, we have here a specific learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learners will be able to first, you have to define elements of information and then recognize the pertinent guide questions leading to information literacy, and then create a log of the stages and elements of information literacy in a given scenario, and then value the ethical of communicating information. Now, let's have first an activity. So you have to write the most influential person in your life. And then answer the praise on a piece of paper by providing the following data: who, what, where, when, why, and how. What is the purpose of these questions? What is the importance of answering these questions? So we have here a purpose of 5 WH questions. We have here a who, what, where, when, how, and why. But let's discuss first the who. Who addresses the receivers who needs the information that I am communicating. Who really needs to be included in communication? Do I honestly need to hit reply to all? And then for what? Considers the core or content of the message. What is the important information that needs to be communicated? And then where? Thinks through the location of both sender and receivers. Where should each be when the communication takes place? Does the communication call for interaction that is best suited for a phone call, FaceTime, or Skype? Is the privacy of utmost importance? It is dependable internet vital? Should there be limited noise? And then when? When pays attention to the timeless of communication. When does this information need to be communicated? When does the receiver need to receive this material? Immediately by the end of the day. No urgent at all. I like this excerpt defied of hands-on remote. Office not required. And then how? Thinks about the channel of communication. How can I communicate this information in the most concise manner without compromising the content, urgency, sensitivity, or clarity? And then why? Why? Perhaps the most important questions of all. Why I am sending this message? What is the purpose? And what is the expected outcome? And what is my motive? So, those are the purpose of 5 WH questions. Again, who? Ito yung kung sino ang laman or kung sino yung mga tao or mga tauhan na sa mga sinulat mo. And then what? Kung ano yung laman na sinulat mo. And then where? Kung saan nangyayari ang mga pangyayari sa sinulat mo. And then when? Kung saan or kung kailan ito nangyari. And then how? Kung paano ito nangyari, and then bakit ito nangyari. So those are the purpose of 5 WH questions. So napakahalaga na isalin natin ito para malaman natin ang buong istorya. So the 5 WS sometimes referred to as 5 WS and how 5 WH and 6 WS. So number 1 are questions whose answer are considered basic in information gathering or problem solving. They are often mentioned in journalism, news style, research, and police investigation. Number 2, according to the principle of the 5 Ws, A report can only be considered complete if its answer these questions is starting with an interrogative word. So, we have who, what, where, when, and why. So, some authors add a sixth questions, how to the list. Each question should have a factual answer. Facts necessary to include for a report to be considered complete. Importantly, none of these questions can be answered with a simple yes or no. So why do we need informations? Ano nga ba or bakit nga ba kailangan natin ng informasyon? So, first, you need information because it empowers you. Information allows intellectual development, which leads to academic credibility, the subject knowledge leading to ability to discuss your subject with authority, and then one of the reasons why we need information system is because they improve efficiency, which can boost productivity. So that is the reason why we need information, because it empowers you. Mahalaga ang impormasyon para malaman natin what happening around us, kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa paligid natin. So, data has been collected, processed, and interpreted and other to presented in a usable form. A broad term that can cover process data, knowledge derived from study, experience, instructions, signals or symbols. In the method word, information is often used to describe knowledge of a specific event of situations that has been gathered or received by communication, intelligence, or news report. And then questions. So we have here a questions. Why do we need informations? So yun na yun kanina. Bakit nga ba kailangan natin ng informasyon? Mahalaga ba ang informasyon? Of course, very important yung information. As what I have said a while ago, para malaman natin kung ano yung mga pangyayari. And then, where do you search for information? So, saan mo makukuha yung mga informasyon? So, sa mga taong andun sa mga pangyayari or sa gadgets, sa TV, sa radio, or kahit saan. And then, how do you acquire this information? So, those are the questions. So, now, information literacy. It is a set of individual competencies needed to identify, evaluate, and use information in the most ethical, efficient, and effective way across all domains, occupations, and professionals. It refers to the ability to recognize when information is needed and to locate, evaluate, effectively use, and communicate information in its various formats. So we have here the stages or elements of information literacy. Number 1, identifying or recognizing information's needs, and then determining sources of informations, and then number 3, citing or searching for informations, and then number 4, analyzing and evaluating the quality of informations, number 5, organizing stories or storing and archiving informations, and then number 6, using information is an ethical, efficient, and effective way, and then number 7, creating and communicating new knowledge. So we have here the ethical use of information. Number 1, say there are times you need to share information that you have acquired from various sources written by different authors. It is inevitable to directly quote the words to preserve their meaning. However, quoting someone else's words without giving credit So the author essentially gives an impression that you are claiming ownership of the words that they have said. This is called plagiarism. So when we say plagiarism, using other words and ideas without clearly rather acknowledging the source of informations. So the common knowledge, facts that can be found in numerous places that are likely to be widely known. Example, John F. Kennedy was the President of the United States in 1960. This is generally known information. You do not need to document this. Now, interpretation. You must document facts that are not generally known or ideas that interpret facts. Examples, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever have played the game. This idea is a not fact but an interpretation or an opinion. You need to cite the source. And then quotation. Using the words directly. When you use a direct quote places the passage between quotation marks and documents the source according to a standard documenting style. Examples, according to John Smith in the New York Times, said 37% of all children under the age of 10 live below the poverty line. You need to cite the source. And then paraphrase. Using some ideas but rephrasing them in your own words, although you will still acknowledge the site of the source of information. So we have paraphrase. This is your ito na talaga yung when we say paraphrase, ito yung yung totoo, yung iniba mo sa mga yung andun pa rin yung laman ng sinasabi mo. So, rephrasing it in your own words. Plagiarism again has a legal implications. While ideas themselves are not copyrightable, the artistic expressions of an idea automatically falls under copyright when it is created under various small parts may be copied without permissions from the copyright holder. However, even under fair use, in which you can use some parts of material for academic or non-profit purposes, you must attribute the original source. What is considered fair use is rather subjective that can vary from country. We have here the strategies in avoiding plagiarism. First, you have to submit your own work for publication. You need to cite even your own work, and then put quotation marks around everything that comes directly from the text or the cite the source. Para iwas sa kaso, you have to put quotation mark para malaman nila na hindi ikaw ang nagmamay-ari nito or kinopya mo lang ito or kinuha mo ito sa iba. And then, paraphrase. But be sure that you are not simply rearranging or placing a few words and cite the source. And then, keep a source journal, a notepad, or notes cards. A note by bibliography can be physically beneficial. And then, use the style manual in properly citing authors. And then, get from the writing center or library. So, any questions, clarifications, additions? So, if you don't have any questions, just go to your e-learning path for your activity. And then just call me or message me at 0926-2974685. So, that's all. Thank you and God bless.